Hey everyone, Sam here from Wargamer Online, and we're looking at another campaign book. This is from Osprey Games, or Warlord Games. It's part of their campaign selection. So this is the Road to Berlin. Now this hasn't even been released yet. This is out in November. I think it's towards the end of November this year that it's being released. So we're extremely lucky that Osprey have been so kind to send us this just to have a look at. We are still in the process of just like starting our bolt action armies, so we're going to have a whole host of campaign books that we can actually go through and have a look at to use in our content on the channel. So expect a lot of battle reports. We're starting with the Normandy theatre, if you don't know already. So myself and Mike are playing at first. Phil also has his Soviet army which he's building up, so we're just waiting on some paints and then we can start chucking them onto the models and we can start playing. But we'll have a look at what is actually inside this book. You will probably know a little bit more than me if you already played bolt action, but this is just jam-packed full of information. So we're going to go page by page pretty much and just have a quick overview of what's in here. You can have a look at what will stand out to you, and I'll point out the bits that I think are quite cool as well. Now at the beginning there's loads of story, there's loads of I say story, it's loads of actual history, so it's all in here. It's laid out like really well, as always with these publications from Osprey. We've got on the left here as well, we've got quite a nice little character that I've just spotted, actually, Rosa Shanina, I think the name is. So it's a sniper character. So I'm not sure how many more of these are in the book, but there's one there anyway. And we've got scenarios, and this campaign book is designed for you to play the Allies moving into Germany, moving into Berlin and trying to end the war. So it's really late war. This is 1944 and onwards, I believe, and you get to take a list from any of the Ally theatres that you wish, or you can play as the Germans and play on the defence. So it's completely up to you which side you want to do. There's some theatre selectors up here in the left. We've got the ones for the Axis. We've also got some Soviet theatre selectors there as well. But we have got theatre selectors for individual tank platoon. So this one is the 3rd Guards Tank Corps theatre selector. There's also the 53rd Guards Tank Brigade theatre selector, and we've got the German heavy tank theatre selector on the right hand side. So there's a lot of theatre selector choices just straight up at the beginning in the book, and there's a lot during as you go through this entire thing. So we've got the 5th Panzer Division there as well, and it's also got rules for actually playing bolt action with the 5th Panzer Division, so there's extra rules in there for how to play that. I know there are a bunch of extra tanks in here because we did have a sneak peek when we were on the live show the other evening, and there's a mouse right at the back of this, and the rules for that are in here as well as some of the unit entries, so we'll have a look at those in a moment. But it's basically just packed full of information on late war, Ally and Axis units that you can use. So whatever you play, there's pretty much something in here for you. And we've got here, what is this, the security battalion squads. We've got the German Shepherd there. I think we're gonna have to get one of those and paint it up as Phil's dog, Lola. And we're on to the scenarios here. So again, there's a lot of scenarios that you can play inside here with extra tanks or the infantry squads that were available at the time, for you to be able to pick and keep it as historically correct as you want. And there is also a bit later on where you can do what if scenarios. So I think it's the Polish that fighting against the Russians, maybe. We'll have a look. But there's a what if scenario, so you can actually do a theatre selector based on that, which is very similar to the British what if campaign book that came out as well. Now this is, like I say, because it's so jam-packed, they've split it up over all of the different scenarios, over all of the different offensives which are inside here. So there's quite a lot to get through, and out of all of the campaign books that I've looked through, this by far is probably the biggest in terms of the actual content and the background that's in here. There's just so much, and on every page you've got these top secret passages. You can see them in like the yellow with the grey border there, basically just giving you a little bit of information on top of all the masses that you can actually see on here. And you've got the standard artwork that's put inside all of the Osprey publishing, or all of the books that they do. So there's quite a lot of nice content there. We've got special rules for Warsaw Uprising scenarios there. And again, the theatre selectors, there's just so many different ones, and this is the what if scenario. So it's the Axis versus the AK. and yeah, if they actually fought each other, this is the rules that you could use and the units that would be available, and you can try this out. But we've got a lot of unit entries in here, more scenarios, so these are kind of in between, showing you the scenarios that you can play with the theatres that go alongside that. And we've got the artwork and the uniforms again. This is literally the biggest one I've seen so far in terms of campaign books. Another one, the struggle continues theatre selectors, and then the additional units. So as we play more and more, well, we've got to start playing games. We've done a couple of demo games. We're going to play some games before we even paint the models. That's the first time ever that we actually play games before painting. It's because we just want to get on with it and start actually trying out some stuff. But as we learn on Wargamer Online how to play the game a little bit more and get some of these cool models built and painted up, we're going to be able to we're going to have a bit more knowledge, and over time we'll learn a bit more as well. And obviously you lot are helping us learn the history and the background as well. So we thank you all for that. So this is the Operation Berlin Theatre selector and all the rules that are inside there. You've got some different infantry squads that are available here. I think it's the Volkssturm, the youth squads, and that's pretty much all you're allowed. And then you can chuck in some tanks, but there's also some rules in here for using inexperienced tanks, because they were basically just chucking them out as quickly as possible to defend Germany. So you've got those tank platoons that are available, and they're basically Tigers, Tiger 1, Tiger 2, the Panzer 2 and the Panzer 3 as well. And you've got the additional German units in here as well, which are available. And you've also got the dug-in turret here. We did see that, and here's the mouse. This is the big massive thing. I think this was a 188-ton vehicle. It's absolutely huge. And then we went on to the topic of the railway gun, which was just a monster. It was basically a fortress on a track. We've got the Panzerfaust and a load of information about the Panzerfaust there. We've got even more scenarios, and this is towards the back of the book, but there's just loads. I'm literally going to have to flick through this, but you can see how much is inside here. I think it's 145 pages in total. We've got the Prague Uprising and the rules to use that as well. And we've got some more units there, the Czech partisan unit, another one that you can chuck in there in your army. And at the back we've got the appendices, so this is the special rules for frostbite and snow, mud and ice and things like that. You dug in your foxholes and stuff. And you've also got minefields and clearing minefields. And you've got underwater mines as well, I think. Yeah, minefields in water, clearing the minefields and all the rules for that go alongside that. You've got city fighting, and I know city fighting is much bigger in this game. If you basically go into a building, expect it to get blown up. And the rules for commanding and fighting in a city. And then we've got the mouse right at the back, such a cool looking tank with a list of all the people who have been involved with the book and the art and the editing. So yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't go into loads of detail. There's probably not much point me going into unit by unit because I don't really know what I'm talking about. So I'll leave that for people who do know what they're talking about. And when we've played games and we know what we're doing, we can go back and we can do a lot more in-depth information on this book. But I just wanted to show you, because this isn't out till November, what sort of thing you're going to be expecting, how much information is inside here. You can see the contents are absolutely packed full, and it might give you some inspiration to get some units ready to use this when it is available. But hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Like I say, I apologise, it's not loads of information, but it's been quite exciting to get all of these dropped through the mailbox every single day we get one. It's pretty exciting, so thanks to Osprey for that, and we'll see you on the next video to do with World War II. Thanks for watching.